Hi everyone and happy Tuesday. I'm Megan Steik, owner of the B2B Builder consulting firm, and this is part 2 of a 3-part series where I discuss the top 6 product trends in the health and wellness category. If you missed yesterday's video, I'll put a link below for you to check it out. And today I'll be talking about 3 and 4. Tomorrow you'll get 5 and 6. So look out for that as well. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Okay, number 3, the stacking and expansion of functional ingredients. I'll say it again, it's a bit of a mouthful. The stacking and expansion of functional ingredients. Now, really, there's 2 parts to this. So the expansion, looking at quote unquote better for you grocery items, expanding that functional ingredient across the aisle. It's an increased expansion from what it has been. For reference, according to Spins in March publication they put out, the growth seen in health and wellness is contributing significantly to growth in grocery. Up to 76% of growth is tied to these functional ingredients. Up to 100% of the growth is attributed, and up to 61% of growth is attributed in frozen. Pretty big numbers, which suggest that those new formulations, the better for you products, the addition of ingredients that come with claims will continue. And you can also see how some of these need state trends, whether it's weight loss or beauty from within, would carry into the products in this expansion of functional ingredients across the aisles. So pretty easy to see that one. The stacking is, I intentionally included the stacking of functional ingredients on this because what I'm seeing is it's not a singular functional ingredient that people are leaning into as part of this trend. Oftentimes it is one functional ingredient and 2, so you're getting more bang for your buck as a consumer, more claims to leverage, and hopefully more benefits to the consumer as well, right? We're in the health and wellness space for a reason, so hopefully we're creating better products, not just better for you in quotes, but better products. So as some examples, right, let's say you have a gluten-free pizza. Perhaps that gluten-free pizza has always been keto, but now you're editing packaging or adjusting the formulation slightly so you have a keto and gluten-free pizza. Perhaps you decide to do a line extension and you want to lead into a prebiotic product or a plant-based product. Pretty easy to do, and again, we're seeing that across the board and in all types of grocery items, the addition of or the replacement of an ingredient, maybe a low alternative, natural, sustainable sweetener or fiber. Another example, let's say you have a gummy, maybe it was a CBD gummy, it was great, but now you've added in to take advantage of the immunity support that was a big trend. You've added an elderberry or vitamin D, or perhaps you're recognizing that huge growth trend in ashwagandha, and now you're adding in ashwagandha and lemon balm and a probiotic. So you're getting multiple benefits and have multiple items to claim from. Or let's say you're in that junk food world, the snack food world, or even confections, right? There's awesome chocolates that are now adding additional ingredients, botanicals, probiotics, natural caffeines, natural sugars and sweeteners. So opportunities really across the board are expanding, and you're also stacking. So if you're an ingredient company, consider your innovation pipeline isn't just about the ingredient and how it works in those historical products, but what are you doing to make that product, that ingredient, usable across the aisles and stable in multiple different formats, if you can. Also, are you looking at how your ingredient stacks with other common or related ingredients? Because that's likely something that's going to come to you. If you're on the brand side or looking at your innovation pipeline, think about, where does this trend of stacking and expansion fit into your functional ingredients? Do you need to modify something to make it work? Do you have a good relationship with your supplier and or your R&D team? Does your R&D team or innovation team have the bandwidth to look at these new formulations? So lots of considerations here. As always, you'll hear me say this a lot, but I encourage you to pause and, as you look at this trend of stacking and expansion, ask, does this trend fit into your vision and mission and growth strategy? Why does it? And should it if it doesn't? So a pretty easy exercise. A lot of complexity in this particular one to consider at all parts of the supply chain and business, but lots of opportunity within it, as there is some really great science out there, and consumers are craving that function, that better for you, which is great. Number 4, convenience as the why. From a product perspective, consider the uptick in those ready-to-drink beverages, alternative formats to supplements, and yes, I do mean gummies. They're everywhere, as well as stick packs for every supplement and every need state, or all the convenient on-the-go and better-for-you grocery items where one can readily snack but also improve your health. The suggestion of format is very present and always relevant to many of these events. But it's not just the preference of format that is important, it's understanding the why. And the why, in part, is due to convenience. My generation, those above and below, want to save time and effort. According to a report that Tate and Lyle's strategy referenced last winter, and from the Global Trend Data Insights, 83% of global consumers are influenced in their purchase by how well a product or service aligns with their time and money constraints. And in that same strategy, there is a suggestion that over 50% of Gen Z and baby boomers are interested in automatic reordering of groceries. Very different, right? Time and money constraints, automatic reordering. Why am I talking about the same? Because it ties back to convenience. Convenience spans across generations, it spans across aisles, it spans across the business strategy as well as the tactics. I mean, should you really be surprised at this? Everyone I know is talking about their D2C growth plan and automatic subscriptions. But it is relevant to product development and ingredients as well. So, even as you think about headaches in the supply chain, very real these days, unfortunately. Consider your customer and what are they doing to make it easier for you or more convenient for you to do business with you. Some might call that good customer service, but it is a trend, again, and it's a trend across all parts of the business. So consider in your growth strategy, do you address convenience as the why? Now, I've talked about 4 product trends thus far: protein alternatives, sustainability, functional ingredients, stacking and expansion, as well as convenience as the why. As a brand, could you achieve all 4 of those in one product? Would you? Should you? I'll leave that up to you. But for those of you who are at Supply Side East this week, congratulations. I hope you're having a blast. But check out the innovations your ingredient companies are presenting. Consider, have they done the work at those formulas that lend themselves to the convenient formats of gummies or high temperature products that are going to go across the aisles? What's the compatibility and stability of those new ingredients for stacking better for you products? Always the function, claims, and associated science should be discussed. But consider, can that science be translated into consumer benefit for, again, better for you or more convenient and flavor forward supplementation? To carry over from the discussion, and since Supply Side East kicked off, I encourage you to have that sustainability discussion. What is your supplier doing to be sustainable for the well-being of this planet as much as for the business? And also, can you carry that message of sustainability to the consumer? I hope you all have a great Tuesday. 2 more coming at you tomorrow. I'll try to keep it a little bit shorter, but until then, happy Tuesday. I hope you found this content useful. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out on LinkedIn. Otherwise, contact me here. Thank you.